Hello students, in this lesson I'm going to briefly go over the branches of geography. Here branches means the different sections, the different parts, the different types of geography. Now there are two main branches of geography I'm going to talk about, physical geography and human geography. Almost anything can be sorted into one of these two categories. First, let me define physical geography. This is any part of geography that has to do with non-human elements. So that means landforms and bodies of water, like mountains and lakes. Climates, like rainforests, temperate zones, the Arctic. Soils, plants, animals, these all fall under physical geography. In class, I asked students to come up with examples of physical geography questions. I'll give a couple here just to help you out. Some examples might include, why does a volcano erupt? Why are the mountains located where they are? Why do animals live in some places but not others? All of these questions are geographic questions that have to do with non-human elements, like the weather, landforms, animals, and so on, like I discussed on the previous slide. The other branch of geography is human geography. This has anything to do with people, with their communities, and with man-made places. Man-made places might be cities or a man-made lake or a dam. There can obviously be some crossover between physical geography and human geography. For example, a man-made lake. That kind of seems like a physical, non-human element, but we also have to consider the human geography element of the humans who built that lake. So there's definitely a bit of fuzziness between these two categories. But most things we can look at and say it's either physical, it's non-human, or it's human. Some examples of human geography questions might include, why is the city of London located where it is? Because a city is a man-made feature. Or why do a lot of people live on the coasts but not very many people in the deserts? Or why do people speak so many different languages in this tiny part of Europe, but in Canada and the United States, we mostly only speak English? All of these could be considered human geography questions. There are a few smaller branches of geography I'd also like to mention. One is cartography. This is the making of maps, or the science of making maps. You can call someone a cartographer or a map maker. Hydrology. This is a branch of geography. Now, this deals with both physical and human geography because it's going to discuss the natural formations of bodies of water like the oceans and rivers and so on. But it could also be looking at where do humans get their drinking water? What waste do humans put in the water? How can we make the water cleaner? How can we predict how much water we'll have in the future? All those kinds of questions. Lastly, meteorology. Meteorology is part of geography. It's the study of weather. You've probably heard the word meteorologist before, for the scientist who on TV tells us about what the weather's going to look like. Geography is also related to other subjects like history and archaeology. Some of you in your warm-ups, when I asked, what do you think geography is, said, I think geography is history. And I understand the confusion there because they're two very closely related subjects. The differences in history were usually learning about human beings and how human society developed and events that happened over time in human society. In geography, sometimes we do look back to the past, but we're focusing more on the relationship between human beings and the land. Another closely related subject is archaeology, which is the study of artifacts that you find in the ground, so artifacts from ancient cultures and so on. And this is an important tool for geographers because that's how we can find information about how things have changed over time, perhaps how populations of people have moved from place to place, or how languages and cultural items have spread from place to place. So these subjects, history and archaeology, aren't part of geography, but they're very closely related. All right, and that is the end of the lecture for today. As always, feel free to email me with any questions.